as we as we go through all this stuff, like, you know, Samantha and I were just talking before a majority of folks came on about being present for what is, right? And noticing both how that feels in your body and your kind of emotional, subtle body, but also, you know, recognizing the role and the power that we have to change what is, or at least to mitigate the potential extreme of what is. And we can't always have, like the Bhagavad Gita tells us, like we do not have control of the outcome. We don't have, we don't know what the fruits are going to be, right? Fruits not guaranteed, but we have the right to our labor. And you know, there was this really interesting thing I was talking about a dear friend of mine with a dear friend of mine, Yvonne, who is a yoga teacher in San Francisco. We were talking about the Bhagavad Gita and how we both have been really drawn to the Bhagavad Gita lately, which takes place on a battlefield. And I know that, like, for a lot of us in teacher training who've done teacher trainings, or if you've taken a workshop or something on the Bhagavad Gita, we always kind of say, like, oh, well, you know, it's a metaphor for the internal battle. But there's a very real battle that's waged in our lives. And Arjuna does not want to go to battle. He's really like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go to war with my family. I don't want to kill anyone. Hopefully, those are not the tools that we always have as our instruments, but he's talking about that. And Krishna's like, it is what it is. It is what it is. So we accept what is both in the moment, but we accept our role that we find ourselves in too. Like we don't get a pass just because we practice yoga and yoga makes us feel better about things. We have to take that grounded presence in whatever way we can into conversations with friends and family, into city hall, town hall meetings, to try to also just be aware to when the energy that we're bringing into those conversations, so that they can be productive and come from a place of compassion, and where we also take responsibility for the way the world is. It's not like we often do this thing, or thing I notice that I think is that it's the acute highest high right now is a lot of pointing fingers outward for the problems in the world, whether you know, pointing at the media or pointing at the South or pointing at big oil, but we all play small and big roles in each of these, you know, kind of like the narrative of Maya. Like all of this is an opportunity for us to up level, but up leveling requires conscious action, and in community it's even better because we can, with our shared values and vision, collectivize and be a part of the change together. I think that there's, you know, there's just these moments that are really acute wake-up calls, and for whatever reason they're all happening in 2020. I mean, that's what it is, you know, where you know, you wake up in the morning and it feels very much like you're in Blade Runner or something. And so it's easy once things change and the skies turn blue for us to forget. But I really do feel that we have an opportunity right now to do something. I mean, there's it's not going to stay the same. We know that's like what we know. It's like there's no going back to normal. There's no more new normal. I mean, there's a new normal, but we're not going back to the old normal. Even in the Bay Area, all and across the country, YogaWorks is closed. My YogaWorks Novato peeps know that we've already had that happen to us, so we're used to that news. But the yoga trees in the city, and everyone keeps saying like this is an end of an era. And there were some beautiful parts of that era, but there were some parts of that era that were extremely problematic. And I think that, you know, one of the things I love about Bethany and about Sukha is that she and you and I are all really engaged in listening and seeing if we can dream up a new future together that feels a little bit more aligned with the heart of yoga. So that's just my pitch to you here at the beginning is don't give up, hope, and and also step into our responsibility with as much ease and grace as we can, but with firm, solid footing on the ground. So we're gonna do a little bit of the shoulder thing. We'll work on pinche again because I want us to keep repeating that, but we'll do some standing balances as well, and just a really steady practice so that we can feel steady and anchored in our body, our presence, and also to get the tissues moving because I know I feel really stiff. I didn't really do a lot of movement yesterday. And if you're like me, I definitely need to move to feel sane. So with all that being said, let's try to do some asana practice together. We'll start breathing though with that simple Samavriti pranayam technique, which is even parts inhale, even parts exhale. I'll count the breath for a moment, but first I just want you to find your comfortable seat, close the eyes, lengthen the spine, and find that place where your torso is balancing over your pelvis, your head is balancing over your shoulders, where you can find the least amount of muscular effort, but also feel elegant and long in your spine, open through the front of the chest and shoulders. Softening through the jaw with the eyes closed. Also try to soften the brow. And just notice first that the body breathes. Notice the rise, notice the fall. Notice the energy level that you have for practice today. What are you bringing into the practice? Any tension through the skull and the brain? Again, try to soften that forehead. Dropping awareness in towards the source of the breath. And even though we're separated, there is potency in joining breath and intention in our practices together. So collectively, let's take an inhale. Smooth exhale through the pores of the skin. One more inhale completely. Exhale through pores of skin. Good. Next round, inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, full of breath. Notice the energy of inhale. Exhale, smooth, 2, 3, 4. Pause, empty of breath. Notice energy of exhale. Prana and Apana pattern. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing, holding prana energy. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sitting with Apana. Grounding. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Present with the inhale. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Present with the exhale. Few more rounds. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Prana, energizing energy. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Apana, grounding. 2 more. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Retain. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Arms reach. Inhale, smooth. Exhale, pull palms to the center of the chest. Inhale, arm circle, reach up. Exhale, pull down to chest. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, pull palms to center. Stay here. I'm going to share an Om today because I just need to chant an Om in my body. If you need the same, you can join me. Inhaling together. Sit quietly with the vibration of Om rippling through the cells. Bowing the forehead towards fingertips. Pause here to notice, even just in breathing, if there's been a subtle shift in your energy and your attention. And how simple and profound some of these practices are. Always within reach to help us anchor presence and attention. Folding forward to touch the earth. Take a moment here, just reaching the arms forward, swaying gently from side to side. Rooting fingers down, pull the body forward and find yourself on all fours. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, push to round the spine. 2 more like that. Inhale, smooth. Back bending. Exhale, completely pause. End of exhale, rounding, pushing, driving fingers to the floor. Inhale. And exhale. As you're ready, downward facing dog or puppy dog pose as an alternative if you rather stay a little lighter in the shoulders. Bending one knee and the opposite knee. I like to shift my weight all the way to one foot and kick my opposite heel up into my bum. And then bring the other foot down and kick the opposite heel up into my bum. Like I'm kind of walking side to side at the back end of my mat. Really helps me with the tension that I have in my calves. As I've been saying this whole last month, like my calves, for whatever reason, it's like my upper back and my calves hold all my stress. I don't know what it is. Shifting side to side. I've also been doing a lot of jump roping when I'm stuck in the house. So that could also, that's probably what it is. But it could be also esoteric, more stress build up in the calves. Good, and then pause in the center. Take a wide base of your feet and hands in downward facing dog, maybe even a little wider than your habit, just to see what it feels like. For me, with a shorter, wider dog, I'm just so rooted into the floor in this position. And I can really reach my arms forward and pull my heels back and down. And take a breath. Inhale. And exhale. If you're not already, look back towards your knees. Walk your hands all the way back to meet your feet at the back of the mat. Hang that head down. Let the weight of your skull drop. And then bend the knees a lot. Roll yourself up to standing at the back of your mat. And this is a little bit more of a fitness move, but it's so great to get into the hips and start to warm up into the body. So you're going to stay with your feet wide at the back of the mat. You're going to fold forward, bring your hands towards your toes, bend your knees, lift your chest, reach your arms overhead, press through your feet, come all the way up to standing, and then palms to the side, hands to your hips. Reach arms forward and up. Inhale. Exhale, hinge, fold towards your toes. Bend your knees, reach your chest forward, crown of head forward. Then lift your chest, reach your arms, press through your feet, all the way up, palms out, hands to your sides. Let's do 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, knees bend, chest opens. Exhale, palms to sky. Inhale, standing. Exhale, palms wide, hands to hips. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge fold. Inhale, knees bend, chest forward. Exhale, arms lift, chest lifts. Drive down, lift up, inhale. Exhale, palms to side. One more, inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, knees bend, chest forward. Exhale, sit low, reach arms, reach chest. Drive down, reach up, big breath in, lots of height. Exhale, arms to your side. Back of the mat, inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Walk your hands forward. Try to keep those hips high for as long as you can, like you were walking forward into downward facing dog, and then shift forward to plank. Shift those hips up and back. And as you shift the hips up and back, walk your hands back towards your feet. Drive down through your feet. Reach your arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, try to keep those hips high as you walk forward with your hands, and then shift your body forward, plank. Hold here. Hips hike up as the hands walk back. All the way back towards your feet, drive down, reach up. Two more. Hinge, fold, walk forward, pause. Hips high, hands back. Drive down, reach up. Last one. Hinge, walk, plank, hips up, hands back. Fold over the legs here, let your head go. This time, hands to your hips, drive down through your feet. Come all the way up to standing. Reach your arms up overhead, inhale. Exhale, hands down, walk back to your plank. Pause. And then this time, start to elevate your hips and walk your feet forward towards the heels of your hands. Drive through your base, reach up through your arms. Similar, hands down, walk back to plank. Try to keep your legs long and straight as long as you can, like you're coming back towards downward facing dog, and then walk your hands back to meet your feet at the back of the mat. Drive through your base, reach up through your arms. We'll just do a couple more. So we're warming up into the legs, into the arms, walking forward. Good. Find your plank, hike your hips, walk your toes forward towards your feet. I have really flexible hamstrings, so it's easier for me to do that with straight legs if you don't bend the knees a lot. Reach up overhead, hands down, walk back, hips high, hands back, drive down, reach up. Last one, we'll meet at the top of the mat. So hands down, walk forward, shift into your plank first, and then hike your hips up high like you're gonna come into downward facing dog, and you have these like, what are those things called? Stilts, like your legs are like stilts that you walk forward towards your hands and drop your head. Now, reach for opposite elbow and sway. So even just that walking forward and back of my mat, I'm starting to feel more warmth through the surface of my skin. Good. Hands to hips, drive down into your base. Come all the way up to standing. Half salutation. Inhale, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, hinge to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This is the breathing practice. Exhale, fold in. Remember Samavritti. Inhale, arms up, reach up. Exhale, palms in prayer. Can you match your movement to that length when we were seated of breath? Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, refold. To stand, inhale. Exhale, palms in prayer. And we all have this unique rhythm where movement is soothing to us and energizing. For some of us, it's a little faster. For some of us, it's a little slower. So we're going to do two more. Try to find your internal rhythm or what you need right now. It could be different from day to day. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. To standing, reach. Palms to prayer, pause. Low lunging. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hinge, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fingers to earth, right toes back, right knee down. Drive down into your base, reach up through spine and arms. Inhale to downward facing dog. Exhale. Rock forward, high plank. Inhale. Exhale, knees to the earth. Pull the mat back as you lower slow to your belly. Drive down into palms and feet. Pull the mat back with your hands. Lift your chest. Bhujangasana, the cobra pose. Exhale. Set it down for a moment. Child's pose. Touching forehead to floor. Pause here. Inhale. Down dog. Exhale. Right leg lifts. Inhale. Stepping through. Left knee down. Exhale. Base is strong. Inhale, reach long, elegant spine up. Exhale, hands forward, nice and light. Step forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold to standing. Inhale, palms to center. Exhale. Arms reach. Inhale. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fingers to earth, left toes back, left knee down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's. Pause here, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Left leg lifts, inhale. Left toes through, right knee down, exhale. Reaching up, inhale. Hands forward, step forward, exhale. Halfway, inhale. Refold, exhale. To stand, inhale. Palm center, exhale. Maybe a high lunge. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Same pattern. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fingers back, right toes back, your choice with the back knee. Inhale, press through your base, reach up through your arms. Exhale, downward facing dog first. Inhale, forward plank. Choices, exhale, lower chaturanga or to the floor. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg reaches up. Exhale, right toes through, left thigh firm. Inhale, completing your lunge. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, release. All the way up. Inhale, palms to prayer. Exhale. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway up, inhale. Refold, step back, left toes back, your choice with the back knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga or floor. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, inhale. Left toes through and forward. Inhale, press down, reach up. Exhale, hands forward, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, release. Feet together, sit low. Find inner thighs squeezing, hands to your heart. Utkatasana. Good, pause here, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Good, you can keep your hands at your heart, depends on your shoulders. Or 3 more times, sit low. Inhale, reach the arms, chair pose. Pause for a full breath in. Full breath out. 1 more in. Hold, exhale. Sit low, inhale, reach the arms. Pause for a breath. Inhale, exhale, fold. Last one, sit low. Reach up or hands in prayer. Big breath in. Smooth breath out. One more in. Exhale, fold. You're going to turn to face the long side of your mat and come into a straddle setup. Drop your head. I'm going to try to show this from the side. For Prasarita Padottanasana, a variation, it's also really nice to have a block to receive your head. So your head is on something solid. Some of you can touch the floor with your head. Some of you need more than one block. Isn't that great that there's all this diversity of range of choices and we don't have to do one thing all the time, forever and always? I like that. We can make a different choice. Head down. If you want to try this heel of the hands back version, the heel of the hand kind of in line with the heel of the foot. It's more like the top line of the heel of the foot. Hand back and down, so it gives us space in the shoulders to kind of find that chaturanga position of the arms, and imagine that we're pulling the heel of the hand back as the mid back lengthens for the floor, and the legs are super long and feet strong and pressing down. Hold for another 2. Good, and then hands to your hips, drive through your base, come all the way up to standing. We're gonna do just all of the standing poses from here, like kind of like Ashtanga yoga style. So having your feet wide, we'll start right side, warrior 2. We'll hold each position for 5 breaths. If you feel really comfortable in some of these positions, you might even close the eyes, and instead of gazing forward, just gazing into the center, keeping your head facing the long side of your mat. So you feel both sides of your neck nice and long, skull back, length through the back of the neck. We got about 3 more breaths here. You can breathe out of the mouth if you're feeling really tense as well. Big breath in. Exhale. Let's take one more. Inhale. Exhale. Reverse. Left fingers drift down, right arm reaches up and over. Hold here, inhale. Bend the right knee more, exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, back to warrior 2. Straighten your right leg, keep your arms long. Pivot your right toes to face the long side of your mat. Left toes towards the back of your mat or whatever direction you're facing. Bend your left knee. Find the torso balancing over those hips. Outer left hip firms underneath you, so you feel lots of space through your left inner thigh. Maybe close the eyes. One more inhale. Exhale. Reverse, inhale. Good, straighten that left leg, bring your arms back wide to a T. Pivot, so you're in your straddle here. Hands to your hips. Squeeze your elbows back towards each other, firm through your feet, lift your chest up. And then with your index finger and middle finger, you're kind of really wrapping around towards it to find that front rim of your pelvis as you fold forward. In Prasarita Padottanasana B variation, the hands stay on the hips, and with your index finger and your middle finger in towards those hip bones, you can kind of scoop back and feel into Uddiyana Bandha, that low belly drawing up and back. And you can also use the thumbs to help you roll the pelvis forward over the thigh bones. It's a good place to be, to just check in with yourself. It's actually one of my favorite versions of these standing forward bends. It's getting quiet, feeling the spine dripping, head dropping. Another moment. And then press through your feet. Reach wide through your arms. Imagine your palms are kind of pushing down on something solid while your fingers reach wide. Set back up, right side warrior two. And then your version of extended side angle. So you might go right forearm, right thigh. I really like to have a block. My hand can easily touch the floor. And for years, I thought I had to do that because I could do it. But I really like a block at its highest height or medium height to push down. So the right side of my waist has so much room as my left arm reaches up and overhead. With my top hand, there's lots of rotations you can take depending on what you're going for here, but let's try to take the knife edge of the pinky side of the arm down towards the floor so we can really feel into external rotation in that top arm today. Press and drive back and down into your left heel, and can you connect your left heel to your left fingertips? Again, here you can close the eyes and be with the pose. And another moment. And then reach your left arm straight up. Imagine somebody's pulling on that wrist to bring you back to warrior two. Straighten your right leg. You can have your block come back to your left side of your mat. If you like to use it on the second side, set up warrior two. Inhale here. Exhale your version, extended side angle. A little quieter on this side. Maybe close the eyes. Get another breath in. Exhale, reach your arm overhead. Imagine someone's pulling you up and out of the pose. Reach the arms, pivot your feet, interlace your fingers back behind you. Press Ardha Padottanasana C variation. Feel the collarbone spread wide, heavy fingertips drip down, lift the chest, reach through the crown of the head. And then exhale, fold forward. If that feels too much on your shoulders, you know you always have the freedom to change your position, right? Good, and then hands to your hips, drive through your base, come all the way up to standing. I'm gonna set a block behind my right heel too. So I'm gonna have wide base here. I'm gonna come into triangle pose setup. So if you like to have a shorter stride for triangle, especially today if we're focusing on grounding, come into the pose, right side, reaching. Again, this is another pose where I can easily touch the floor in my body. That does not make me a superior practitioner. It just means I have really long hamstrings. But I like the feeling of using a block and coming up onto my fingertips even on that block. So I'm really high and I can rotate easily through my mid back and reach so much energy up into my left fingers. And then I can take a longer stride in my legs too and still feel really grounded and supported. Maybe close the eyes here. This is a harder pose to close the eyes. There's a little bit more balance challenge involved, so just be mindful. Two more breaths. One more inhale. Exhale, look down. Imagine again, someone's pulling you up and out of the pose. Reach the arms wide. Pivot your right toes to the long side of the mat. Pivot your left toes the other direction. Come into triangle pose. Utthita means to extend. So can you find that extension of the spine here? Less so actual extension of the spine, which is a back bend, but just finding length, both sides of your waist reaching. And then once you get into a comfortable position, try not to fidget or change your alignment and be present with the pose. Even closing the eyes. Another breath in. Exhale, gaze down, drive through your feet, reach up into your right fingers, spread your arms wide, pivot. your feet together. Hands to your hips. Press through your feet, reach through your chest. Exhale, fold down. If you'd like to go for Prasarita Padottanasana D variation, you can hook those big toes. Drive through your feet, reach your spine halfway. Inhale. Exhale, drop your head, soften your elbows wide. Release. Another breath here. Inhale. Exhale, hands to your hips, drive through your base. Come all the way up to standing. Soften your knees a lot. Hop your feet together. Feet all the way to touch. Sit low in your legs, hands to your heart. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, rotate to your right. Press your palms, turn your chest. Good. Try not to sink down into that left elbow. Push, lift, turn the chest. 2 more breaths. Good. Exhale back to center. Stay committed to the feeling of your legs and rotate to the other side. 5 breaths. Press palms, turn chest. Feel that right side lengthening forward, just like in our triangle pose and our side angle pose. Find it in your twist as well, as best as you can. Energy through the legs. And 1 more inhale breath. Exhale, center. Inhale, reach the arms, sit low in the legs. Exhale, press down. Lift up, drop the arms. Step your feet a little wider, close the eyes. Feel your whole energy field in your body. Nice. Now we're going to come into revolved triangle pose. I'm going to show you facing this way so you can see the width of my base pretty easily. But you can step to the top of your mat and take your feet hip distance apart, maybe even a little bit wider. So I'm going to bring my left foot forward and my right leg back and have my blocks to frame my feet. When I step my left foot forward and my right foot back, my chest turns to the right naturally. So I'm going to take my right foot a little wider, especially for today when I want to feel a lot of grounded energy through my feet, and bring my hands to my hips. And then oftentimes here, there's this little kind of sassy left hip. I'm going to balance my pelvis right to left, but I don't have to force it square forward. I'm going to turn it forward until it stops. And then take my hands up to my middle ribs and notice that there's still range here for me to move and twist. Hands back to my hips, feeling my right butt cheek firm, my outer left hip firm, taking an inhale. And then exhale, folding forward and down. For today, I'm going to go to this high block under my right hand. You can't see that well. And just give myself lots of space to then turn the chest towards the left rather than worrying about my hand going on the outside of my foot. Again, this is a thing that I can do, but for today, I'm not doing it because I want to be really grounded into these 3 points of contact as I reach my left arm up and overhead. From here, still feeling that left hip wants to move out to the left, turning back, reaching the right sideways forward, firming into the back foot. And then after I make all those adjustments, just let it go and be in the pose. 3 more breaths. Maybe even closing the eyes. Hard to do here. Again, this is a more unstable position. Good. Another big breath in. And then exhale, fold, release the head. I have 2 blocks high setting as I fold over the left leg. You might have no blocks. That's fine too. And 1 more inhale in the fold. Exhale, soften the left knee, step forward with that right foot. Fold over both legs. Uttanasana, the forward bend. And then lift up halfway. Just from here, step your left foot back and then press down and lift up. And then notice if you feel like you're kind of on a tightrope and your hips are really swinging to the left. Shorter and wider in my base gives me more freedom to turn the pelvis forward and to level the pelvis right to left. I'm going to move my pelvis forward until it stops. And then I'll take the rest of that movement up into my middle spine and just slide my fingers up there so I remember that I have this capacity to rotate in the mid back. Take an inhale here. Exhale, fold. Left hand down, outer right hip firms. Turn and reach the right arm. So this is a more stable revolved triangle pose. Parshva Trikonasana, rotating Parshva, turning, twisting. Good. And with my hand on this block, I have so much contact area with that block, and I'm not struggling to bring my hand to the floor, that I can really push down and find warrior two in my arms. Maybe even closing the eyes for a moment once you feel really stable. One more inhale. Exhale, fold, drop your head. One more inhale. Look forward, soften your right knee, step forward. Inhale, lifting up halfway. Exhale to fold. Good, and then come all the way up to standing. Have your blocks. You can just keep them right where they are. We're gonna come into supported warrior three first. So both hands on the floor or a block. Right foot mid-mat, left leg kicks back. And then from here, start to feel your left hip open as you drive down into your right hand and reach your left arm up and overhead. Pushing and reaching back through that left foot. And again, half moon's another one of those poses where I can bring my fingers to the floor, but I feel so awesome here to be able to reach my right side waist forward. And then looking down to the floor makes it easier for me to explore closing my eyes in the pose. Maybe, maybe, maybe. One more inhale. Left hand down, turn the hips down as you exhale. Staying on this right foot, left hand down, right arm up, revolve, half moon pose. Find that energy of warrior two through your arms. Press and drive back through your back foot. Maybe close the eyes. Notice how the body sways. Find your center in this way. One more inhale. Folding, exhale, both feet down, feet wide. Malasana. Malasana in between sides. The squat, we've done enough forward bending. So let's get a different angle into those hips. Good, one more inhale. Exhale, hands down, hips lift, head drops. From here, left foot mid-mat, right leg kicks back. Set up that left block or fingers on the floor, rolling yourself into Ardha Chandrasana. From down into your left hand, maybe looking down to the floor and explore closing the eyes. If you fall, no big deal. It's tough to close the eyes in these standing balance pose. And one more inhale. Find the balance within with closed eyes. Exhale, right hand down, kick your right heel back. The eyes are so big in our balance, right? Our senses, we kind of lead with the face, eyes, nose, mouth, ears. See if you can explore closing the eyes here. Reach energy back through your right foot, up through your left fingers. One more inhale. Release, exhale. Feet wide. Bend the knees, hands to your heart. If you want another version of a wrist stretch, just rotate those fingers down to the floor. All right, hands down, hips lift, head drop. Bend the knees a lot, roll yourself up to standing. Now I'm gonna take you and my mat over to the wall space like I did last week. I realized that it's actually a decent visual here to show you. So you can walk over and do the same. You'll have a few options for inverting here. One being just throwing your legs up the wall. That might be what you need, right? Like that's perfectly reasonable things to be doing right now in 2020. Now, other options at the wall. Oh, I need a block. So kind of building on our work from last week, I love to teach the headless headstand. Fingers interlacing and pressing into the baseboard. And what that gives us the ability to do, oftentimes as we walk the feet towards the elbows, there's that rounding in the middle spine and collapsing the head towards the heel of the hand. Yeah, but with my fingers pushing into the wall, as I walk in, I can also push my fingers forward and try to lengthen that mid-back space up towards my hips. And from here, take a little tiny swing and hop. Oop! Try to knock whatever. I did that last week too. I knocked this painting off the wall. So that's one thing that you can explore. Or going further away from the wall. As many of you know, my favorite version of forearm balance is with the block squeezing into the inner block. It's a little friendlier rotation for the shoulder. And then you walk in from here and take little gentle swing and hops. Not even worrying about getting into the pose. Last one, I know for some of you really like handstand, and for some of you who I feel a little less comfortable with it, it's a really it's a more accessible inversion than it seems, particularly when we do the wall walking with our feet on the baseboard, coming kind of towards down dog, feet to the wall, head drops. And we're trying to create that 90-degree angle and drive our fingers down into the floor, meeting the front and the back body. And then similarly too, turning around, I like to come from standing, foot forward, leaning like I'm coming into warrior 3, hands down, weight shifts to fingertips, little tiny swing and hop. I'm trying to keep the arms straight. If you want me to see you, you can turn your camera towards yourself. If you don't want me to see you, great. Don't worry about it. Nice. Good, Tiffany. Squeeze those legs together. Reach your feet up. Nice, Samantha. Good, Barbara. Yes. Spread those fingers wide, grip the floor. I like that you have a 2-mat cross section. That's super advanced. Now, when your feet are on the wall, can you drop your head like you're in a forward bend? Yeah. Oh, let that go. Good. Press down, lift up into the hips. Press your feet into the wall. And honor your strength. So strong. Really nice. All right. Take another however long you'd like in that pose. If you have your legs up the wall, you'll just stay there. When you're done doing those more active inversions, you can just take your time as long as you'd like practicing, right? Um, we'll all meet up in legs up the wall. Ah, if you don't have a wall, you can just reach your legs to the sky. Like this. Just waiting. Just draining the legs for a moment. Good. Another 3 breaths and legs up the wall, or child's pose, or wherever you're at. You could be seated in a forward bend. All right. And then slowly making your way. In a moment, I'm going to give you choice to do back bends, right? So you can do more active back bends. Similarly to if you've come to my public classes, you know that sometimes I just like to have space for more people exploring what they want in a practice. This is also a way of us engaging and understanding and creating that connection of what we need at specific moments. So I feel like my body would really love to have a supported restorative back bend right now. So I have the means to do this. You can get creative and find props around your home that would work for this. I'm going to do Supta Baddha Konasana with blocks underneath my outer thighs so I can focus on belly breathing here. All right. Now, if you don't have blocks, you could slide some sofa cushions, or if you only have a few blocks, you can also come into Supta Baddha Konasana in that heart bench, right? With the block behind your mid back, upper back, and then a pillow or another block to receive the head that way. That's a super, super nice opener, but I have a bolster, and so I'm going to use that bolster so that I can use my blocks then to receive, oh shit, I just spilled coffee on the floor, it's all good, to receive my outer thighs. Good thing my carpet is brown. All right, outer thighs. That's my first liquid spill of the pandemic. So I just want to take a moment to realize it took, what, like 5 months for me to spill liquid on the floor during a class while teaching? That's not bad. So the closer you bring your support towards your hip joint, the more support you'll have knees away from the floor, less inner thigh stretch. Outer knees, more outer thigh stretch, obviously no blocks, even more. Again, I can totally do this pose without blocks, but training ourselves to seek out and use skillful support when we need it is a really great practice to do. And as I lay back, if you're not already there, maybe you're already there because I've been talking about spilling coffee on the floor. Press a little bit into your outer feet, slide your hips away from the floor, and then take your thumbs into your glute flesh and slide the flesh of your glutes a little bit towards those heels. For me, that feels great, and I feel more length in my low back that way, and I really enjoy that. Now, once I get all settled in my position, either you could be repeating more active back bends, right? Try to take each of those back bends for 5 breaths each, resting without fidgeting for 2 breaths in between, just to kind of keep with the continuity of grounding and not getting too agitated in the nervous system, but moving smooth and skillful. For those of us in Supta Baddha Konasana or more restorative back bends, resting your hands wherever you like. I like to bend my elbows and bring my hands onto my ribs. And then I'm going to take 5 rounds of low belly breathing, where inhale, my low belly fills with pressure. And then exhale, without gripping, it softens towards the back body. 4 more. Inhale. And exhale. Continuing on your own, 3 more of those active breaths. If you're doing active back bends, aim for at least 3 rounds of the active back bend. If you're in the supported back bend, after you do that 5th more low belly breathing technique, be still and uncontrolled in your breathing patterns. So it's just that natural rise and fall of breath, softening the jaw, softening through the brow. If you're in your active back bends, taking counter poses on your back to gently draw the knees into the chest, rock the spine, even taking a twist from side to side. For those of us in this pose, we might want to stay here for the next 5 minutes. This is a really great position to take for a longer period of time, really soothing for the nervous system. Nice and opening for the front body, particularly if we have to spend more time seated and indoors today. It's like open, receptive place to even taking the arms out to the sides. If you're on your back and you're like, you know what, that actually sounds really awesome, you can totally take Supta Baddha Konasana as your Shavasana. You could also return back to legs up the wall or seated for meditation. Once you have worked out that active back bend by drawing the knees and rolling around a little bit, maybe you take a happy baby and then go right into Shavasana or Supta Baddha Konasana. Try not to get too busy. And notice too, if, especially in times of high tension and trauma, being in this open Supta Baddha Konasana might feel extra vulnerable. And if the panic starts to arise, or you feel your heartbeat start to pick up as you slow down, roll to your side and come seated. You can also practice sitting in stillness with the eyes open. Just be aware of finding a space where you feel supported and able to be present and still. And that can be different from day to day. Not everyone is comfortable in moments like these, being exposed to the outer world in this front body sort of opening. You might even take child's pose for a minute or two, or coming seated and taking a seated forward bend with your forehead supported by a block. I'm just listing options, but you can be creative. In a moment, I'm going to be completely quiet for 3 more minutes. And just allow for the space. And for you, be present with what comes up. And if you need to make a different choice to support yourself better, know that you can. You don't have to sit with unnecessary pain, suffering, and discomfort. Nor do we need to shy away from discomfort. If we feel supported and grounded, to notice where the mind goes and our tendency to attach to it. Always able to return to the tools of noticing heartbeat and breath to connect us to the present moment. Final 30 seconds. Notice how you feel. And then in stillness, begin to breathe a little deeper. 4 to 5 count inhale, pausing top of the inhale. 4 to 5 count exhale through the pores of the skin. 2 more rounds. Smooth inhale. Smooth exhale. Last one. And then if you're not already seated, let's start to wiggle our fingers and our toes. If you're in Supta Baddha Konasana with support, just bend the knees in towards the center and then roll onto your side, pausing on your side for a moment. So you feel that low back space get nice and long. And then coming all the way up to your seated position. Palms find the center of the chest, and I'll conclude the practice as we begin with this one sound of Om, of all creation, sort of sacred vibration. If you want to join me, feel free. Inhaling. Thumbs to the center of the forehead. Lift the chin, tilt the head back. Fold forward to touch the earth. Thank you all so much for being here for practice today. I know I really needed that as well. I hope it served you, both to feel better, but to really connect and ground and be motivated to stay hopeful, even in hard times, because all of us are here together and we have collective power to make changes. All right, so be well. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.